Hi, my name is Barbara Eisenstein. I'm going to be demonstrating how to plant a California native plant in your garden. Here in Southern California and in much of California, this time of year, late fall through the winter, is the best time of year to be adding new plants to your native plant garden. This is the fourth video that I've made on this subject. In the first one, I worked with the same plant, Ribes viburnifolium, and demonstrated how to pop the plant out of the pot without damaging it. In the second one, I worked with a verbena and demonstrated how to pop it out of its pot. We talked a little bit about soil and how to plant it successfully in a container. In the third video, we worked with non-native herbs, making a holiday gift of these plants by transplanting them into clay pots. This video, we're going to be working again, like I said, with the Catalina perfume, Ribes viburnifolium, and I'm going to demonstrate how to dig the hole, plant the plant, pat down the soil, and water it in for the greatest chance of success. So here we go. Okay, here I am with my Catalina cherry, and this is the location I'm going to put it. Shady garden, I think I'm going to move a little bit over there. A lot of mulch on it, so I'm going to clear the mulch out of the way for now. The mulch is oak leaves, just oak leaf litter underneath an oak tree. And now I'm going to put my Catalina cherry. You remember, not my Catalina cherry, my Catalina, perfume. You remember that the depth of the hole is going to be from the bottom of the plant, root ball, to the crown, right there. It's that depth. Ooh, it's got earthworms in the potting soil. Nice. Okay, so about that depth, here we go. I was going because there are a lot of roots growing in here. Might be from these manzanitas I've got on the edge. My soil is very dry. I never water the oak. I do occasionally water the manzanitas, particularly if we have a very dry winter. We did last year. Okay. See how we got. Now you can make the hole wider than the circumference of the root ball, but you really don't want to make it deeper. Because if you make it deeper and you put the soil back in and you pound it down, it will settle some more, and then the plant is oftentimes too deep in the hole. And that is generally a very bad thing for California native plants. This one is really lightly rooted. I'm not going to remove much of the soil because I don't want to lose too much of the roots. Now I think I've got it about right. You can look at it and see. A little high on this end's lower. That's okay. Planting a little high is usually not a problem as long as it's not too high. That looks about right. I've got it straight. Now you'll notice I did not add amendment. I'm not going to fertilize it. It's just the soil I've got, and it's going back in the hole. And that's all. I'm going to break up some of the clumps, put it back in, and just like so. Okay. And then the place I'm pushing down is not really on the root ball or on the potting soil, but it's around it where the soil goes back in the hole. And I'm really sticking my fingers in there and pushing it down pretty hard. If you're working in very wet soil, you don't want to push too hard because you will compact the soil. So there we go. Looks pretty good. Now the next thing that you can do is you can build this little lip around the planting hole. And that helps the water stay put and actually penetrate where you want it to go. So what we're going to do is this. You don't want to do it with the mulch. It doesn't work well to do it with the mulch. You really want to make mud pies here. There we go. Now if you find that your plant is always wet because it's raining a lot or whatever, then you can always just take the lip off to allow for the water to not collect right around the plant, if that's the case. So we need a little more soil. There we go. Just going to make that like that. that back a little. So I want this entire area to get wet, not just the root ball, not just around here. I want it to get wet here, here, and here. And the reason for it is I want everything to settle in. I don't want this thing to be wet in a very dry environment, because if it is, then the water gets drawn away too quickly. So you want the whole place to be wet, and then you lay off. You don't have to water all the time. It's really nice to do this in the fall when the weather is not too extreme like it is in the spring and the summer when it's really hot. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to set up my little sprinkler, which I have right next to me because I'm watering another one of these that I planted a minute ago. Okay. Here's my hose. That's going to turn this way down. About 20 minutes after I finish a nice cold beer. I let this fill up with water for a while, and then I'm going to move the hose back over to the other one that I just planted, let the water soak in, and I'm going to keep doing this. And given that this soil is so dry, and the soil is so full of roots and so on, this whole process is going to probably take me at least a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes of watering in and out. But in any event, when I'm done, everything around this plant is going to be nice and wet. If you have a prediction of rain, it really makes sense to try to plant right before the predicted rain is coming. Well, that's all I've got on planting native plants. I hope you take advantage of the season and get out in your garden, enjoy it, and make the world a more beautiful place. Have fun.